Hi guys, my name is Marilise and I'm here with All My Accents. We're going to jump right into our sound for the day, which is the zh sound. It's a tricky sound just because it does not have one letter that represents the sound. In American English, this sound is represented in a variety of ways, sort of like the j sound that we talked about last time. So the zh sound is represented by this symbol in the International Phonetic Alphabet, and we pronounce the sound sort of similarly to the j sound with some differences. This sound is produced by vibrating the vocal cords and pushing the blades of the tongue up against the insides of the teeth. The tongue tip is going to be down, and that's because we want air to be able to flow out. That's what really creates this sound. The vibration of your vocal cords and that airflow through that space that you're creating between your tongue and your palate. So let me say the sound 5 times in isolation so that you can really start to hear it and play around with your own tongue and mouth to say it along with me. Zh, 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 zh. There's 4 main ways that you'll see the zh sound spelled in American English. Let's review these 4 cases. The zh sound will show up in the letters SIO, in SION letter combinations, which is often found at the end of words, such as in the words decision and television. The SI in those letter combinations is really what was representing the zh. And just to keep in mind, it's not with SSION, just with SION. So in the word mission, you're hearing a sh sound. But in the word decision, there's not 2 S's, just 1 S, and so you're going to be pronouncing that SI as a zh sound. You'll also see the zh sound spelled in the letter combinations SUAL, and you'll find this letter combination in common words such as usual, or casual. The sh sound is also represented by the SURE letter combinations. In this case, the S is really what's representing the zh sound. So in words such as measure, or pleasure, you're going to hear that zh sound. And finally, the zh sound is represented by the GE letter combination. Not always, but often is pronounced as zh, as in the word beige or massage. Beige, massage. So for method 1, you're going to record yourself saying the targeted 8 words that I'm going to give you, and then you're going to practice saying these words at least 3 times a day for a week or 2 or less if you're making quick progress. Then you'll re-record yourself and compare that recording to your baseline recording. So let's check out the words for method number 1. Occasion, decision, usual, casual, measure, pleasure, beige, massage. For method number 2, you're going to take 1 minimal pair. That's right, folks, you heard me correct. There's really only 1 good minimal pair for when the zh sound is being replaced with the sh sound, which happens for Spanish speakers in particular. So what you'll do is you'll take the word measure and measure. Measure is just somebody who is meshing fabric together. It's not a very common word in English, but it is a real word. And you're just going to take these 2 words and really practice saying them to feel the difference between the zh sound and the sh sound. Again, one of the big differences between these sounds is that the zh sound is pronounced by vibrating your vocal cords. Zh, zh. Whereas the sh sound, we do not vibrate our vocal cords for that sound. Shh. And we're bringing our lips very much forward for that sh sound. Shh. So just listen to the difference between those 2 sounds. Zh, sh, zh, sh, zh, sh. So if you're doing method 2, you're going to take that set of 2 words, that minimal pair, and you're going to just practice saying it as much as you need to until you hear and feel the distinction between the zh sound and the sh sound. Measure, 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 measure. Method 3 is going to be focusing on comparing that j sound and the zh sound. They are quite similar to each other because the tongue is in a very similar place in the mouth, but where the j sound is a quick releasing of the air that you create and capture behind your tongue, the zh sound is a continuous sound. So the zh sound, that we spoke about last time, is a quick, it's not a continuous sound, you just puff that air out, whereas the the zh sound is a continuous sound. You can make it for as long as you have breath in your lungs. So that's going to be the focus for method 3. And we're not even going to put it in words, we're just going to focus on pronouncing this sound. Zh, 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 zh. A final note, if you are a native speaker of Mandarin, sometimes you're actually going to say what sounds like an R sound for this zh sound. This is a common substitution that happens because of two sounds that you have in your native language in Mandarin. But what you want to make sure to do is get that nice friction going. So instead of saying a common word that happens where that substitution takes place is usually. Usually, sometimes for a native Mandarin speaker, comes out usually. It sort of sounds like an R. If I were a native Mandarin speaker, I could say that R really nicely for you. Unfortunately, I'm not a native Mandarin speaker, but it's such a cool sound. It's a little tricky for native English speakers to produce, but really you just want to make sure that you're getting that nice friction going on. With the R, when you're replacing that zh sound for like what sounds like an R sound almost, you're not getting as much friction as you need for the zh sound. So we want to say usually. Okay, and we don't want anything like an R sound in there. Guys, I love that technology brings us together. It's so cool to know that some of you are watching these videos thousands of miles away from where I'm recording them, outside of the capital of the United States, and I'm just so thankful that you take time to spend with me to listen and bring more awareness to your speaking. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from, so definitely comment in the section below where you're from and what your native language is.